Hey, what's up, guys? This is Lois Raptor, and welcome back to Injustice 2. Now, where we left off, we beat the crap out of Brainiac, and we were given a choice: side with Batman or side with Superman. And, well, as you can see in the last episode, I chose Superman, mainly because I like him more than Batman, and I kind of agree with both, but with Cyborg, he's been helping us a lot, so, I mean, even to disrupt Brainiac's, wavelength with other people that he's mind-controlled, we can actually gain control back of the ship with time. Because if we trust Brainiac, you can't trust Brainiac when he wants to collect all the entire worlds.
I used to be afraid. Afraid my powers would make people fear me. Afraid who I'd hurt if I wasn't careful every second of every day. I spent my whole life holding back. My fear cost me Lois. That's why I don't hold back anymore.
I mean, granted, you try to trust Joker too. Thinking he won't blow up the city. Well, that's Joker. He will. He wants people to kill him.
She led us right to him.
It's no accident you brought us here.
Of course it isn't.
Oh, that's the one I saw in the promo.
I warned him about Diana, but I didn't believe you'd turn on me.
You should want Brainiac dead more than anyone. Instead, you're undermining me.
Thank Rao your father can't see you. When General Zod tried to take over Krypton, Jor-El led the fight against him. That's who you come from. That's who you are, Cal. Not this.
If Jor-El had been more like Zod, he might have saved Krypton. I will save the Earth.
It's kind of dark there, Superman. Boom! And then throw this at her. That still got her in the tippy toes.
No more Mr. Boy Scout.
I do agree, there's some truth with Superman. You know? You can't really leave a lot of people, a lot of bad guys alive. I mean, mostly, if they're pretty innocent, like, in terms of, like, they don't try to commit like a whole atrocity by destroying an entire city, then they're fine. I mean, like Captain Cold, for example, and like they're redeemable. But someone like Joker, you wouldn't want that guy alive.
I'm sorry.
Your war is over.
Fighting on the same side, it felt like old times. But I guess we both knew it would end this way.
Do you remember that night when you told me Lois was pregnant?
You knew, even before I said anything.
That was a good memory.
From another lifetime.
I miss the people we were then.
Me too.
I had to laugh at that. It was pretty funny.
Quit, Bruce. You can't win.
You of all people know, Clark. I never quit.
Yeah. Let's see what your AI is like, though. Give up, Batman. Ah, crap. You're gonna have to get that repaired now.
Stay down.
Boom! Crap. Ah.
You will lose.
He will lose. 'Cause I'm Superman. Sweep with a punch.
Nothing more than a nuisance.
crap. Alright.
There's no peace in revenge.
Okay, Batman. Oh crap. That's not gonna protect you. It's more of a grab than actually punch. Boom! And that's it for you, Batman.
It's over, Bruce.
Yeah, it's over. Who's next?
You don't have to do this.
I'm not letting Brainiac live to put the Earth at risk again.
Then what? I'm your next victim.
I could have killed you years ago. It would have been so easy.
So go ahead, Clark. Do it. Show me what a villain looks like.
Is that what you want to see?
Yeah.
He's still breathing.
If he dies a martyr. I want him kept alive.
We need to deal with Kara.
She's young. Give her time. She'll come around.
And if she doesn't?
She will. This time, everyone will.
Yeah, with Brainiac's machine, that happens. Yeah, that's what I figured. Stole Brainiac's suit. Purpose for his own.
You bonded with Brainiac's ship.
Brainiac is dead. The remaining cities have been restored, and just like I told you, Earth is at peace.
Under your heel.
I wish you'd come around, Kara. I'm building a new army to protect the Earth. There are billions of warriors trapped in Brainiac's collection. Kryptonians, Daxamites, Zarnians. I'll have a legion whose power rivals the combined Lantern Corps. And I want you to lead it with me.
Never, Cal.
You'll either make the right choice, or I'll make it for you.
Yeah, you probably... Yeah, that's what I figured.
What's it going to be?
Wow. Is that really the ending for it? Aw. I'm so sorry. So right, amigo. Oh, that was Injustice 2. My thoughts on it was a very good story. I mean, I have to see what Batman's ending is, but honestly, coming from Justice 1, that was actually a very interesting story coming from like the timeline of the regime. I'm actually surprised they kept it within the regime timeline. And it was actually very good. If I had to get this a rating, it'd be like 9 out of 10 for story, because I mean, it kept you on the edge. And I did not know how it was even going to end. Well, I kind of pictured that Superman and Batman would be fighting each other again. Because even if they were together for the final battle, they only did to protect Earth. And then they just went back to fighting each other. And I'm still surprised that the Reverse Flash is still a thing in this timeline. I mean, considering the fact that, like... I mean, I read up on the Flash's history, and with the Reverse Flash, he wants to revert everything that happened with the Flash. So even with the regime timeline, he's still there. It kind of predicts now, kind of thing where the Reverse Flash, his story was that he comes from like the 3 centuries in the future, or 3 centuries in the future. Sorry. Then what's going to happen with Scarecrow though? Like I know there's most of the villains under Superman's regime, for example, would all die, but then they kind of kill off the Dr. Fate towards the end, just crushing his helmet. And if I think there was ever going to be a sequel to Injustice 2, probably not this timeline. I don't think so. If if Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios ever wants to create another Injustice, it's not going to be the regime timeline. I don't think so. Mainly because of the fact that Injustice 2, they decided to basically give you a choice. Give Superman his Earth back, or have Batman protect the Earth from Superman, and make sure the regime doesn't come back up again. Now I'm very curious. I'm going to see if I can go back in and do Batman's story. But, see how much time I have? Yeah, I can do it. I'm just going to let the credits continue, though. And then you'll probably either see the Batman one in its own video, or the extended edition one, and just kind of spliced together. But we'll see. I'm just going to let this play out. Listen to all the cool things about. Look at all the people that made it. I mean, honestly, I have to say that this is probably the most fun I ever had in a DC game. Because, funny enough, I like Marvel as well, but I kind of like DC as well. I mean, I find it really funny that I personally like Marvel. I know most of the main cast, but I find it really funny that I know more DC heroes than I do Marvel heroes. And I find that really funny, considering the fact that Marvel, I only know the main cast, like Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, the Black Panther, and then most for example, the Guardians of the Galaxy, for example. But other than that, it just kind of stops there. With DC, I know all the side ones, like Dr. Fate, Firestorm, Blue Beetle, Swamp Thing. I never even heard of Swamp Thing until this game. And I mean, even Grundy from the first Injustice. I kind of know about Superman and Batman. They were kind of the big shots in the past. Even though I didn't really read much of the comics. Then it was The Flash. I knew The Flash personally, kind of thing. It was that, Superman and Batman. Wonder Woman I never really touched into, but I knew who she was. Green Lantern, funny enough, I've actually grown to like Green Lantern with the Injustice games. And I mean, I even took one of those internet quizzes, and I actually got the Hope one, the Blue Lantern. It's kind of look to the stars for hope burns blight. Blight. Bright. I don't know why I said I was playing with L, but whatever. But yeah, burns bright. I find that really funny that I know DC heroes more than I do Marvel heroes when I call myself a Marvel nerd kind of thing. Because Spider-Man, I grew up with Spider-Man. But I also grew up with Batman. I mean, originally I was a Batman fan, but now I would say I'm more Superman and Green Lantern fan. Don't know why. Maybe it's the supers. But yeah, Injustice 2, I would give it 8.5, 9 out of 10 in terms of a combat quality, fighting games. Because coming off of the Mortal Kombat 10, I kind of like the Mortal Kombat series a little bit more, but with Injustice, I find I like this one better than I do with the previous one. I think it would have to do with the updates and the updated combat system coming off of Mortal Kombat 10. So I never really liked Mortal Kombat 9 as much. But if they ever make an Injustice 3, I doubt they're going to do this timeline. Mainly just because of the fact that they give you two choices, and I know they're not going to pick either one, because Mortal Kombat 10 was basically a rewrite of the reboot the entire series of Mortal Kombat. And it ended off pretty weird with Cassie Cage getting the final blow on Shinnok. Yeah. And if they ever make a DC versus Mortal Kombat again, I doubt it. I would say of all honesty, of the next game that Ed Boon makes, I doubt it's going to be Mortal Kombat versus DC. It never worked in the past, unless they just make it a crossover with. Because I know they're going to put in Sub-Zero in this game as DLC, like how Scorpion was in the first Injustice. And I'm curious what story is for Sub-Zero going to be in this game. Because they kind of when they threw in Scorpion in the first one, they kind of threw him in going, oh, he just teleported in because of one random shenanigans. And Sub-Zero, I hope they actually give each character like a DLC story in terms of how they actually got there in the first place. And I'm very curious of what every character has to say about Sub-Zero. I know Captain Cole is going to make a lot of puns to him, saying probably like he's stealing his style. But I'm curious what Superman and Batman would say to Sub-Zero, because even the DC universe of Mortal Kombat DC, they actually had a history together. I mean, Batman and Sub-Zero, they were kind of like the alternate to each other, kind of how Scorpion and Superman was. And it's I'm very interested if they even with customization. I hope it's kind of funny if they actually include some of the old Sub-Zero costumes in terms of like pieces, and then add in their own. So I can see one of those alternate costumes being like, is probably his Mortal Kombat 10 persona, like his outfit there. Then maybe 9, and then having probably the classic Sub-Zero, because I know in Injustice 1, he did not Injustice 1. I know in Mortal Kombat 10, he actually Scorpion actually did get his Injustice 1 outfit, but the one part I really hated the fact was I think it was only a mobile unlockable, kind of like how Grid was in Injustice 2, but that was pretty easy. You didn't have to do some crazy, you didn't have to play through the entire mobile story to even get Scorpion's costume for Mortal Kombat 10. However, for Grid, you just got to link your profile, and I think they did a lot better with that one than they did with Scorpions for Mortal Kombat 10. But this has been Lewis Raptor, signing off.